It's really all hands on deck here in this community because they have 1 day to evacuate.
Mr. Harper, you're choosing to ignore me, and you're also choosing to ignore parents.
They want change, and this 16-page lawsuit is how they're going about it. She opened her mailbox to find an envelope.
Daniel and I have something in common. We are both one of 100 babies who are born with congenital heart defects.
See, it's growing well. I'm 5'1", and much of this hemp is taller than I am. Many conceding on this stage behind me, but they kept their eyes on the prize. Shut down Tennessee State Highway 216. That's because of all of this water in this school district that are also being investigated. Right here, this is the water pump. Put my hand up next to it. You can see just how big it is. Gunner, high five. High five. Woo! High five for winter. Illinois State Emergency Management says they've seen this water sometimes rise an inch a day, and they're worried it could get worse, possibly sticking around until July, which means people who live here are at the mercy of the water. A mobile home park in East Cape Girardeau, Illinois is the latest target of the rising Mississippi River.
I mean, you brought the Army and stuff in a little too late. You get what I mean? You get what I'm saying? They've came too late. I mean, there's no help that can be done for us.
The National Guard is sandbagging while the U.S. Coast Guard is out on the water.
We're here going door to door, just making sure that everyone's safe, is aware of the mandatory evacuation, and we're assisting them getting to dry ground.
Heather Fritz's home is easy to spot with her red car stuck in the flood.
It is emotional. It very much so is when you own your home and now you got to uproot and try to figure something out for not only you but your children too. I mean, it's going to be bad for a lot of us.
As the water creeps up, Brandy Walters' family is trying to save what they can. So families are having to take everything out of their home, put it into their car all in 1 day. Once they evacuate, they don't know how long it will be until they're back in their home because of public safety concerns.
It's hard to realize that this could happen to anyone.
We took a boat ride with the Coast Guard to see what they see.
They moved to create a life, and then in an instant, everything that they spent years building up can possibly be gone.
They say everyone is safe, but many of these neighbors have no place to go.
Yeah, it's just a trailer court, and yeah, you know, but them are people's home.
The U.S. Coast Guard tells me the water here is about 5 feet deep, and the water more towards the homes, closer to 3 feet over there. Now, Fritz tells me because this is a flood zone, she does not have flood insurance, meaning whatever this water ruins is gone.
So where are Grace and the other adults tonight, Leah?
They're still in that home tonight because what Community Options, Inc. was going to do is illegal. The Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services says they have to remain open until all of their residents have secured a new home. So this is a big win for the families, but that doesn't change the fight that's been happening for weeks to ensure that the Bloomingburg's 23-year-old autistic daughter wouldn't just be dropped off at a hospital. Hidden in plain sight, there are homes like this for adults with severe developmental disabilities who are trying to live normal lives.
She's 23, probably has the mentality of maybe a 2-year-old. She's slightly verbal. She's a very sweet girl.
Bob and Janet Bloomingburg say their daughter, Grace, needs 24-hour supervision. She lives at this home owned by Community Options, Inc. for now.
It was just more than we could handle as a husband and wife.
These homes are closing. They were given 30 days notice. They say it's not enough time to find another home for her. The Bloomingburgs say they were told whoever didn't have a place to go would be dropped off at a mental institution.
My daughter is mentally disabled. She's not mentally ill.
There are only 4 adults living in these homes. I wanted to know why the nonprofit would leave without making sure they were in good hands. The nonprofit is based out of New Jersey, so I called and called.
Hi, Brian. My name is Leah Shields.
Called.
Hi, Brian. This is Leah Shields.
They finally sent a statement saying they have, quote, no choice but to close the Kentucky operations because of funding issues. Yet the nonprofit had excess revenue of nearly $5 million in 2017 and total revenue of more than $162 million.
We don't want a company that operates the way that they've operated. If that's what they're about, then we don't need them. We just want them, like he said, to fulfill their obligation to our daughter. She's more than just money from the state. She's a human being.
Their mission is to support people with disabilities. Janet wants them to keep their promise.
And it's an ironic name. It should be Community No Options because they pretty much left us without any.
I have not been given a closing date, but remember, like we said, they have to remain open until all of the residents have secured a new home.
At just 10 months old, Daniel can make funny sounds, army crawl, and has probably been through more than most adults.
And he's a lot more happier than other babies.
His mom, Blaine Phillips, never knew about congenital heart defects until Daniel was born.
When did you find out that there was anything wrong?
We found out when he was about 5.5 hours old.
Daniel was flown to Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville. Just 3 days later, he had open heart surgery. Phillips found out her baby has hypoplastic left heart syndrome, or HLHS.
The left side of his heart, the left 2 chambers of his heart did not function, it did not grow, nor do they function. I was heartbroken. I was expecting to have a normal baby, and you don't get to bring that baby home, so it's so much harder on you.
Daniel had another open heart surgery at 5 months old. Daniel and I have something in common. We are both one of 100 babies who are born with congenital heart defects. You see his scar here? Well, I have one too. This baby is me after my first open heart surgery. Daniel and I have different types of CHD, but 1% of babies born in the United States will have a heart like ours.
Oh yeah, he's doing good. If we could get him to gain some weight, he would do a lot better.
His Nana, Janet Gore, says Daniel's fight has made Phillips stronger.
At first, she would just freak out just over every little thing. And she's getting a little bit more where she doesn't. So, and I think with him getting older and getting stronger has really helped.
Daniel has a feeding tube for now. He'll have to have another surgery in a few years, and he'll need care for life. But from my own experience, he and his scars will fit right in. In Graves County, Kentucky, Leah Shields, WPSD Local 6.